Welcome to the Sunshine Act compliance demo for NetSuite. So here we're going to learn a little bit more about the Open Payment Sunshine Act and look at an actual demo of the mobile TNE app as well as the Sunshine module within NetSuite and how this can help streamline and make compliance easy and pain-free. The Open Payment Sunshine Act, part of the Affordable Care Act, plays a critical role in increasing transparency in healthcare. It addresses a key challenge, ensuring that financial relationship between manufacturers, such as those in pharmaceuticals, medical devices, and biologics, and healthcare providers, are open to public scrutiny. These relationships include general payments for consulting or travel, research-related payments tied to agreements, and ownership interests held by physicians or their families. By shining a light on these transactions, the Act fosters accountability and builds trust in the healthcare system. And now let's talk about what needs to be reported and when. The reporting framework is structured to capture all significant financial interactions. General payments like consulting fees or travel research payments tied to formal agreements and ownership interests held by providers. The timeline is straightforward. Data collection spans the calendar year. Reports are due by March 31st, and CMS then releases the data to the public by June 30th. This schedule ensures ample time for submission and review, but it also highlights the importance of maintaining accurate and real-time records throughout the year. Uh, Compliance isn't just about following rules, it's all about avoiding substantial financial penalties. For instance, unintentional errors can lead to fines ranging from 1,300 to 13,000 per violation, capped at 180,000 annually. But the stakes are much higher for intentional non-compliance, with fines reaching about 136,000 per violation and with an annual cap of 1.3 million. These figures underscore why having robust systems in place is essential, not just to avoid penalties, but to ensure ethical transparency in business operations. Let me show you how NetSuite ERP helps make compliance effortless. With the mobile TNE app, expense reporting becomes incredibly fast. Sales reps can log expenses in under a minute, including capturing healthcare provider information in real time. This information seamlessly integrates into the Sunshine Act module and the various fields within NetSuite, eliminating manual data entry and reducing errors. On a broader scale, the Sunshine Act module is a powerhouse. It tracks all reportable transactions, whether they're related to general payments, ownership, or research. Beyond tracking, it generates ready-to-submit reports tailored to CMS requirements, such as the general payments, ownership reports, and research payments reports, and even exception reports. So you can detect if there is bad data or data missing that is required in those reports. This functionality ensures that not only compliance, but also a smooth and more efficient workflow for your team. It is a game changer in staying ahead of compliance obligation and allows you to do that from your investment in NetSuite. So from here, I'm going to move into the mobile app and start the demo. So I'm going to click the Archer One app and it locks me in using my Face ID and takes me right into the dashboard. And from the dashboard, I can see the rejected reports that needs editing, submitted reports pending approval, unreported amounts I still need to address, and a history of reports. From here, I can create new expense or review existing reports. I'm going to click on the expenses. So in the expense section, I can easily toggle between reported and unreported expenses. For example, if I wanted to check specific categories such as meals, I can switch to that and the filter will bring up just meals. In addition, this also helps me differentiate between Sunshine Act related expenses, which shows up with a stethoscope icon, And it also shows me that the receipts were attached with the camera icon here. Now in the bottom, when I scroll down, I can see that there is this report of $333 that does not have a receipt attached to it. And I can switch back and also toggle between HCP and non-HCP, non-sunshine related expenses and see a separation there. So coming back to the dashboard, now I'll create a new expense. So first, I'll go ahead and scan a receipt. And if I forgot to scan the receipt, it will remind me to do that later. So when I click on add receipt, it gives me the option either to pick a document from my phone or my photo gallery or enable the camera. So I'm going to enable the camera, and I'm going to take this receipt for the restaurant I went to with a physician, and I can enter the description here, lunch with Dr. May, and I can pick the category. Now, these categories come directly from within NetSuite, and they can be controlled from within NetSuite under the expense categories. And each of these categories are tied to a specific GL account. So I'm going to click on meals, and I will punch in the actual meal amount, which is $184.95. And I'm going to separate out the taxes because they are not reportable. And as you can see, I also have the option of adding a HCP to this transaction, which I'm going to add here. And so this is an HCP lookup tool that's integrated into the mobile TNE app that allows us to look up the physicians by their name, or if I have an NPI lookup, NPI number. The reason for this is to make it really easy for salespeople to add this information to increase compliance. And if they have already visited doctors, if there's a frequently visited doctor, they can appear in their shortcuts below here, and they can pick it right from here. So from here, I'm going to type in Dr. Daniel, last name May. And if I wanted to do a specific search, I could pick what state. So in this case, I'm going to pick Pennsylvania. Um, and I'm going to hit search. And I have narrowed down to a specific doctor. And this doctor is an MD, and they are a covered recipient physician. And I'm going to add that to my expense. And you can see that it has automatically split the expense amount, assuming that there are two people, one is the sales rep and the other is the physician. Now, I could very well add additional physicians. Let's assume for the sake of this demo that there was Jet Shapiro also as the physician, and now it's split it again. And the bottom, it shows that the Sunshine reportable total is $123.30, whereas the total amount was more than that. So I'm going to proceed. And here it gives me the option either to save and go back, or just add to an existing report and submit it. But I'm going to say no, just save it, go back, because I have other expenses I need to put in, or I'm not done with my week and I'm going to travel. So now I'm going to add in another expense, and this expense is related to my travel, my drive to see Dr. May. So I'm going to say drive to see Dr. May. And category is going to be mileage, and automatically the fields change to show to give you the ability to enter the miles. And I drove 56 miles, and it automatically calculates based on the mileage rate, the total amount. I have no receipts to add here, no HCP information, and I'm going to proceed. Now, with every expense, it auto detects that there is no receipt attached, and it will provide you with a reminder. So I'm going to go ahead and confirm. And this time I'm going to say add to report and save. And this will allow me to pick the expenses that I want to add into my expense report and send it into NetSuite. And I'm going to pick the other one as well. Now there are two. I'm going to say done. I can give it a title. So expenses for the week of 1/17. And I'm going to say either I could save it as draft and submit it later, or I could just submit it. And here you can see that the one in the bottom has both an receipt icon, which is the camera icon, and a stethoscope, which tells me this is an HCP related or a sunshine related expense, whereas the top one is not. So I'm going to go ahead and submit it. And this is connecting into NetSuite and in real time trying to create an expense report within NetSuite. And when it does that, it's going to populate all the Sunshine reportable fields that is necessary for the CMS reporting. And we will now transition into, I can go to my dashboard again, and we can now transition into the uh, to NetSuite. So we are now in NetSuite and we'll carry the transactions that we did in the mobile app. We'll see how they look in Sunshine. So in NetSuite, you'll see a Sunshine tab, and I'll click on the tab itself that takes us into the Sunshine module dashboard, and it gives us quick view of various metrics, including the reportable transactions that are being submitted into NetSuite. We saw that the transaction that was submitted was for Dr. Daniel May, and we'll get into it in a second. Before that, I would like to show that in the Sunshine tab itself, you are able to see various settings. This is where we would program your CMS issued GPO ID that you will need for the submission to the CMS. And we track the various records, the physician ownership, principal investigator, research study, all these records are tracked here. And also, in addition to that, we track third-party recipients that you may be working with, a list of all the covered recipients that you're working with, and in addition, there is also Sunshine reportable transaction, so that you can just focus on the transactions that you have to report to the CMS and not have to worry about all the other standard transactions in the system. You will also be able to look at the Sunshine report batch. This is the report that you have generated, and you can look at the various statuses. The CMS report generation is right here. This is where you run the reports from. And if you want to check the standing of a specific physician, you can click on this link and it'll take you into the .org website to check what the standing of the physician is. This is the expense report that was submitted through the mobile app. As you can see, it's for Dr. May, and this is the lunch with the doctor. We had added additional physician here, Jed Shapiro, and you can see that there is an attachment. If you look at the memo, this is what the salesperson typed in. This was the drive to see Dr. May, and these are the lunch related transactions. The receipt is attached here. The payment type is all automatically added into the system, including the department class location is defaulted from the employees profile. All these are Sunshine related fields that are populated once the transaction is sent over. including their NPI type, license number, their addresses, NPI number as it is registered with the CMS, their address, taxonomy. We need the home system payment ID is one of the requirements in the CMS report. In addition, there are additional fields if this was a teaching hospital related transaction, which is not often the case when when the salesperson is working mostly with the physicians. There's also research related fields, which we will not get into right now, but if all those fields are available here as well as on the invoice transaction. In addition, we have the physician ownership record, which is right here. And if I click on it, you'll see all the details that are required by the CMS that needs to be tracked for a physician owner, including their HCP information, and in addition, whether they are an immediate family member, the amount invested, the value of that investment, and additional fields required by the CMS. If I were to create a new record, you will see that there is an HCP info button in here. This is the integration that allows you to very quickly look up the physician. So I'll put in John Smith and try to run a search on this physician. And I did not narrow it down, so it found all related transactions and anything that was close to it. So I am going to pick one, and I can see all the related information such as their NPI number, license number, and so on and so forth. So I will from here fill physician information, and this will, I need to check, okay, fill physician information, and this brings it into the system. From here I can fill all the additional information I'd like to, like primary type, amount invested, value of investments, the terms, so on and so forth. I'm going to not save this one. Similarly, there is also principal investigator list here. And if I look at it, all the HCP specific information will also be recorded here, similar to what you saw in the previous step. In addition, if they are working on a specific research study, that is also linked right in here. And I can go right to this research record, which we also need to track for Sunshine related transactions, and gives details of start date, end dates, any other details that is required in the report we track here. In addition, we can see the Sunshine report batches that I pointed out earlier. This is where you can see what reports were created, general payments, research payments by year, what the submission stage was, whether the file generated successfully or was it incomplete, did it fail, and was it complete, is it a resubmission file or not. We need to track these, and I can always go into it and see what the details are, and look at the file again if I wanted to. In addition, on the vendor record, there's also a Sunshine tab, and we can monitor or track all Sunshine related fields on the under the Sunshine tab. This comes in handy if it's a third-party payment recipient. We can mark it here, and we can track the third-party payment recipients as well. In addition, you can look at all the Sunshine reportable transactions, so that you don't have to look at thousands of transactions and try to come up with and identify which of those are specific to the sunshine reporting. Here you can also quickly see if there's any missing fields. When you click into it, you can see all the specific fields that are related to sunshine. In addition, there are alerts we can create in the system so that on your dashboard you can see what's missing and what fields you need to go in and adjust. So here is an example that I am on this line, and that same HCP lookup integration is available here too. So when I click on this checkbox, I can type in Jack Smith and run that, and I can pick and fill the information right from here, and it brings in all the physician information right to the line level. Now I can fill up anything else I need to, such as the amount, currency, and the memo. This is an example of how you would do this manually within the transaction in NetSuite. Now you can do this not only just on an expense report, but also on a vendor invoice. With that, we'll go and look at how to create a expense report. So from here, I'll click on report generation. And from here, if I'll pick what type of report I want to run, say it's general payments. Now, if I pick a year that I've already ran, it will come back with a warning saying that the file already exists. And I can go to that transaction and look at that file if I wanted to resubmit it or use it for any other reason. In addition, I can also pick whether it's a consolidated report or if it's a resubmission. Now I'm going to go ahead and create one for the year of 2025. As you can see that there is no records found. So I'm going to go ahead and generate the CMS report. Okay. So it's looking at all the available sunshine reports for the year of 2025 that fall in the category of general payments, and it's generating it. It's already done generating it, and I can click here to go to the report batch and look at the file itself. Now this file is generated in the format that is requested by the CMS, so that all you have to do is download this file and upload it into the CMS portal. With that, we will conclude this session. Hope this was helpful. Thank you.